not stupid. I know what I'm doing.
Right, welcome guys to yet another exciting edition of Life Lessons from Life. It's your boy Nigel, the Slick Pastor. This is a show where I get to tell stories about my life, things that have happened in my life, things that are happening in my life that we can pick lessons from, because that's the whole point and idea of life. So I hope you're going to enjoy this brand new edition. Let's get into it. So I remember this one time. There's this incident that happened that stuck in my mind. Very brief incident. So we were at church. I think at that time I think I was 8 or 9 years old. So yanga every time prayer and namata. You know, when you get to church and then the first couple of minutes people are praying, maybe the first 30 minutes, you know, the devotional prayer, when people are praying and preparing for the service and, you know, praying for their lives and their families and stuff like that. So me being 8, 9, I mean, Tashkau Church, people are walking up and down praying, some are kneeling praying. Ini ndakangoendoni ngaita sei ndikangonogarawo ku kids section kwataigara. Ndipo ndagara ndakazorora, and I remember ndakatonyatso ndakalina kudai so zvangu ndakagara muchair ndakabhara fork. Ndo yandikutora setime yangu yekuita yekurelax while others are what? While others are praying. So I remember this, and I remember it very vividly. My mom coming up to me and telling me 3 words that stuck in my mind even up to this day. Vakangoya wabva wandiguma pashoulder panapa. Wabva wangonditi otoijaira nyaya yacho. That's all she said. That's all she said. At that moment, all I could process was she's instructing me to get up and pray like everybody else. But why she said in that manner, why she chose those exact words, and senda vandanzi nditoite yekujaira. But that couldn't kufamba time. As time was moving in my walk with the Lord and as life was progressing, those words actually started making sense to me. Meaning that her expectation was not for me to just stand and start praying on that particular day, or pray because she was around, or pray because we were in church. But she was instructing me to get used to the idea of depending on God. She was instructing me to get used to the idea of making this a lifestyle, making it a habit. So I remember she tanga unamata, so I knew that whenever she was around, she would be watching me. So I had to pray, I had to talk to God. I also remember that almost every Sunday, before we go to church, or Saturday, we'd start getting ready for church. And then she would call me and my little brother over so church. You know, there's time panoitwa, I don't know what you may call it in the church you attend. Anonzi my items. I have my presentation, my testimony, my poem, so almost every Sunday, you would know that our little family would go up and sing a song. The other thing that she also taught me, which, you know, some people might find weird, others may criticize and stuff like that, but I saw it working for me. So in our church, we would have my pastors. We would have a local pastor in the area at Tingetiri, and then there would be a senior pastor over that local pastor. So at any given point, Tingetina about 3 pastors at a time. And then she would tell me that every Friday, I want you to pack a shoe brush and different kinds of shoe polish in your bag. Then after school, I would go to these different pastors' houses. Magadi, Masarase, and they also polish our boots. And I would do that. I would do that, I think, from the time I was in grade 4 or 5, I think, up until the time I finished primary school. I would do that every week. And then they would ask me, those pastors would ask me about my life, ask me what I aspire to do in life and to be. So looking at all of these things, some of these things didn't make sense at that time. Most of these things didn't make sense at that age. And then my mother left to be with the Lord. She passed on in 2004. I was only doing grade 7. And now, after she was gone, you start seeing the reality of the lessons that she was trying to teach. You start seeing the importance of such things as prayer, as such things as ministering in the house of the Lord, as such things as servanthood. Because of all the things I mentioned, firstly, the issue of prayer. Kudzidza kwakaita kuti nyaya iyi otoijaira. Ndakura muupenyu hwangu ndasangana nezvinhu zvakawanda zvokuti unoona kuti panapa hapana mumwe munhu anogona kundibatsira kana kundiburitsa pazviri kunze kwaMwari. Ende handina imwe nzira yekuti Mwari andiburitse pazviri kunze kwekunamata nekutaura naye. But it's because at one point ndakadzidziswa kunzi nyaya iyi otoijaira. This is not a once-off contract. This is not a one-time deal. Yekuti unongonamata makusenzi obva zvapera. This is something that you're going to need to do for the rest of your life. And when your parents are around, almost everything you are taught, hauzvitore sezvine basa stereki, because they are always there to cover the gap of the things you are failing to do. So there are so many things that you take for granted when you have your parents around, because for most of the things that you fail to do, they are there to stand in the gap. Let's say if you don't spend money wisely and your parents are there, ultimately, they are just going to step in and help you out. If you make bad decisions, but then, when your parents leave, that's when you see the necessity of applying everything that they taught you. That's when you start realizing the importance. So for me, being prayerful has been such a key thing in my life, and it has helped me a lot. I work in an industry where too many things happen in a single day, where there's just a lot that's going on. There's a lot of keeping up to do. There's a lot of relevance to try and maintain. There are too many people to please. There's so much criticism to deal with. It may overwhelm you, but because anytime I pray and I talk to God, it kills out all the other noise. It stills out all the other distractions. And then I start realizing that, the key thing or the primary goal of this life is that I bring glory to God and I please Him. And that is not such an overwhelming burden as is everything else that comes with the space that I'm in. So that was the beauty of being taught to pray. The beauty of being taught servanthood. Those things taught me to be humble. Those things taught me that no matter how high you go in life, no matter how much you achieve, no matter what family you come from, no matter what your situation looks like, there's always a place for you to serve. There's always a place for you to go under. And I know, especially nowadays, there are a lot of people who struggle with that for so many different reasons. Mainly because, people have lost faith in men of God and in churches and in Christianity and the church community and stuff like that. Because some have been hurt, the churches that they attend, some have been let down by people they had high expectations of. So anytime you talk about honoring servants of God, people have a big problem with that. But when you look into the Bible, you will see that throughout the entire Bible, from Genesis up to the New Testament, you will see that there is a consistent pattern of honoring vessels that God brings into our lives. And I did that and it worked for me. Because what I believe is that anything that you do with a pure and sincere heart, God has a way of directing you into the right place. So, no, but God has a way of bringing the truth out and opening your eyes. So, and then the last thing had to do with ministering in the house of the Lord. This was every Sunday. And ngatiimbe in church every Sunday. Kusvikira inini pache zvangu ndakutotaura kuti mama, this time ndoda kuita poem. Apa ndoda kutaura kuti chakati, apa ndoda kuita presentation yechakati. Apart from the blessing that it brings into a person's life, apart from the spiritual growth that you get as a result of doing that, one of the major things, it helped me boost my confidence. It helped me work on my personal skills. Just having that confidence of standing before 50, 100, 200, 500 congregants, and now, you see, the thing about a skill is skill hainzi yashanda kuchechi then kana wabuda panze wotanga kukakama, wotanga kudedera, wotanga kurova nehana, wautanga uchikataura nevanhu. Once a skill is yours, it belongs to you. Nobody can take it away from you. Any ability that you now have, despite kuti wakaidzidzira kupi, wakaiwanira kupi, wakaigonera kupi, yato yako ndiwo wakutokwanisa kutoishandisa. So I'm very grateful that the spiritual training I had gave me a balance even in my personal and professional life. Even up to this point, I'm confident to stand before thousands, to share my gift with the world, to help and encourage and inspire other people because of those lessons. So if there's anybody out there, angakunzwa kuneta pakunamata, angakunzwa kudzokera kumashure, otoijaira nyaya yacho. Komborero enacho. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Life Lessons from Life. Be sure to check out for the next episode and remember to subscribe.